I've been looking at the super blue moon or the blue super moon or whatever. Today it's August 30th, 2023. I've been using my $100 telescope for the first time. And I was thinking about how the next one, like the blue moon, is when you have 2 full moons in 1 month. And it happens like, I think every few years or something. But a supermoon is when it's like closer and so it looks bigger and brighter. And so to have them both together, to be a blue moon and a supermoon, the next time it's going to happen is in like 2032, I think. So like almost 8 years, 9 years. So anyway, I was thinking that I could use this as a time capsule for my future self the next time that there is a blue supermoon. My life will surely be much different than it is now. I've gone through a lot of really hard things. I went through something really traumatic in June 2017, right before I had Zoe. And then things stayed pretty hard and challenging for the next few years. And then in January 2022, I tried to fix that situation. And it did not work, and it imploded my life. I couldn't have stayed where I was in January 2022 because I did not act or move or try to change my situation until I felt that my kids were old enough that I could try. And I don't regret that choice, even though it destroyed my life. Well, it's not my choice that destroyed my life, but it led to a few other people making choices that changed the entirety of my life and my children's lives forever. And I'm trying to do this whole healing process since then, in this past year and a half, without placing blame on anyone, because everyone is the main character of their own story, and everyone views what they do as the thing that they had to do. And I don't understand why some people did what they did directly to me. It has been very painful, very sad. My body's shaking just thinking about all this, and I have a lot of body work to do to fix this betrayal and sadness. But I'm doing it, and I'm trying not to blame them for their choices, although I have let them go from my life. My mom, my sister, my husband, his entire family. And additionally, I didn't have any friends or even acquaintances stick around. I have been quite literally by myself since February 4th, 2023. And it's now August 30th, 2023. I have lived in isolation ever since. I haven't seen my kids. No pictures, no phone calls. No visitation, nothing. But that wasn't my choice. And the things that have been my choice, I've handled them how I could. A lot of it included giving up ideas that people would do the right thing and then realizing that people were going to do the wrong thing, and I could still choose to do the right thing. A lot of people that have spoken to me in a legal sense or a medical sense or some other professional sense, which those are the only people I've interacted with, they've all said, you've got to fight, you need to be a fighter. And I've said, I'm not. And it's not a regret. I'm not a fighter. I wasn't a fighter when my mom and dad abused me, when they beat me, when they were really mean to me, when my mom tried to put me in a homeless shelter in my 20s, when my dad grabbed me while I was driving, yanked my steering wheel and left me on the side of the highway, drove off in my car, left me there in my 20s. Like, I don't fight back. I didn't even talk about it. I would just always leave and move on and do the next thing. And I didn't talk about it because why did I need to? I don't gossip. Now, talking about trauma, sometimes you have to talk about things that you don't want to talk about, and it has been my turn to do that. And I don't try to protect the people who do bad things, but I also don't say anything unless I have to. I have been very sad. I have been very alone. I have been in hell. And I can't imagine the parents who actually lose their children to death. I have not seen my children in almost 7 months. In a few days it'll be 7 months since I have seen or heard from them, haven't heard their voices, have not seen pictures, nothing. Nothing at all, no contact, nothing. But there are some parents who lose that contact permanently, and I try to keep them in mind when I am grieving. And I think, if this were permanent, what would I need if I were the parent? I have not had anyone reach out. I haven't had anyone visit me, call me, text me. And my house flooded. The other day we had a flash flood in Pocatello. And I tried calling all the companies, but they were busy because everyone in our town was having flooded basements like me. Nobody could respond, and I was watching 2 of my window wells fill with water and flood the basement, and I was like, I can't do this. And I tried to call my brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, but it ended up being his wife. I don't even have their phone numbers. I just Googled it. And his wife said, no, we're not going to help you, no. And I was like, my house is flooding. I'm going to lose my house. And she's like, too bad. And I was like... So I kept dumping water. And I ended up in the hospital with kidney problems because I apparently outworked my body. And I didn't drink water because I was in the rain and hail and dumping buckets of water trying to get ahead of it so it didn't ruin my basement as it's just pouring and dumping. And then I was in the hospital and they were like, do you have anyone who can come be with you? And I was like, I don't. And then they put me on some medication while I was there, some pain meds. And they're like, all right, do you have anyone who can come get you? And I was like, no, I don't. I drove myself to the ER. And she's like, all right, well, you should be fine. And I drove home and I was like, ooh. And it's been sad, but that's the main thing. Like, I'm capable of doing this, and I just kind of look at the clouds and I'm like, really? This is what you're doing? You want me to be completely alone? You want me to have kidney failure because I have to bail my house out of a flood when my kids have been missing for 7 months? This is what you want to do? But I can do it physically. It's just sad. That's the only thing, is it's just sad. been doing it. And I have stayed true to myself, which has been my goal this whole time. Like, when all this bad stuff started a year and a half ago, the one thing that my husband said to me was, be quiet, be quiet. Everyone thinks you're crazy. Don't say anything. Be quiet. Stop talking. Stop making videos. Stop writing. Don't write poems. You look crazy. And I was like, no. And I was like, I'm gonna write. And I'm gonna swear, because I need to get some damn attention around here. And I couldn't tell. I thought he needed mental health help, which might be the case, but also it seems that he did a lot of those things on purpose. But at the time, I just thought it was purely that he needed help, and I needed help because I didn't know how to get help for him, and I was watching my kids. And so when he would tell me, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, and I was suspicious of him, but I was also like, I'm not gonna be quiet. I'm going to not be quiet because there's a problem and I need help. And I screamed out into the world and no one helped. And then he took my kids. And I cried and I talked to people and I told people my story. And they're just like, whoa, that's so horrible. That's so heavy. That's so hard. And that was it. Like, no one could really do anything and no one could speed up the process for sure. Unwinding a web that was woven to trap me in a situation that I didn't even see coming. I was clueless the entire time. But the point is that at the next super blue moon or blue super moon, I will have my kids back, obviously. He can't win forever. And I will maintain myself as I have this whole time. And I don't even resent people, like even the people who have ditched me and have like been no help or even just ghosted me. Even people I've known for like 20 years. Even a few people I've known longer than that. I don't blame them because I'm like, they just couldn't handle it and I can. Well, I didn't know I could, but I can. And now that I've gone through it, I know how I would help someone in that situation. Although I think I would have known how to help someone if I were on the other end. If I were on the friend side and I watched someone go through this, I think I would have known intuitively how to help them. But the point is, they didn't. They're not me. And in 2032, at the next moon like this, I will be in a different situation, but today I'm not. Today I'm in this situation. And I think I'm going to be pretty much the same, character-wise, then as I am now. But my situation will be different, and that's a long way away. Someone told me, worst case scenario, you'll see your kids again when they're 18. And I was like, don't say that. Like, don't say that. But that's what it feels like, thinking like, I don't know. I don't know why he did what he did. I don't know why my kids are missing. I don't know why people abandoned me, turned their backs on me, and chose things that were not right, not honest, not truthful. I don't understand it. And I was in the dark for a long time, so I was really confused about a lot of things for a really long time. But I don't lie. And I've always said that. And I will continue to not ever lie. And my circumstance will change in the next 8 or 9 years. And I will keep shifting and growing and taking whatever hailstorms and floods and kidnappings and whatever else happen. And I will still be myself. And I will still do what I think is right. And I will still try to be positive and not speak ill of others. Because I know that a lot of people go through a lot of things at different times, like, of their lives. Not everyone goes through the same thing at the same time, so they have different capabilities and capacities. So I will keep doing my thing, and I will still be myself. And I'll be a little different because I'll have grown, but I'll be the same on the inside because I am the same I was when I was 4, and I know that. I know who I was in preschool. I know who I was in elementary school, junior high, high school, college, and I am that same person today, and I will be that same person in 8 to 9 years. I will just have had experiences that are like, flood, really? But I'll still handle it, even if no one else chooses to help me.